This acquisition marks a major milestone on our path towards global leadership in the attractive non-prescription medicines business, Bayer's chief executive, Marijn Dekkers, said in a statement on Tuesday. And Merck, which is selling non-prescription brands such as the MiraLAX laxative and Afrin cold remedy, said it expects after-tax proceeds of between $8 billion and $9 billion from the sale, which is expected to close in the second half of 2014. And the transaction, the largest in the German healthcare industry since Bayer bought rival Schering for €17 billion, $24 billion, in 2006, will make Bayer the world's second biggest consumer healthcare company as it seeks to make better use of its distribution network and sales force. And we can take these products and market them more forcefully than Merck has been able to do so far, Dekkers said in a conference call with analysts. And Bayer, the inventor of aspirin and maker of Bepanthen skincare products and Canesten antifungal creams, has repeatedly said it wants to take the top spot in the rankings. And drug makers have embarked on a major reshuffling of their business portfolios. Novartis and GlaxoSmithKline (GSK) last month agreed to trade more than $20 billion worth of assets, while AstraZeneca is fighting off a $106 billion takeover approach from Pfizer. And meanwhile, companies including France's Sanofi, Merck Co and Abbott are looking at selling off mature drugs that have lost patent protection. And drugs units carry far lower margins than prescription drugs businesses, but many drug majors regard them as attractive complements to the stable stream of cash they can generate. And they also require less spending on research and development and can be less exposed to the loss of patent protection, where consumers remain loyal to a brand even when cheap copies become available. But Reckitt Benckiser Group, one of the final contenders in Merck's auction, said on April 30 it was no longer in active talks to buy the Merck business, leaving Bayer in pole position. And Bayer also edged out other rival bidders, including Procter & Gamble Co., Boehringer Ingelheim, Novartis and Sanofi. People familiar with the matter have said. And J&J commands about 4% of the consumer health market, worth nearly $200 billion at the retail level. And Merck Co has around 1% with brands including Dr. Shaw Foot Care, Coppertone Sunscreen and Claritin Allergy Medicine. And the fragmented industry is consolidating fast. Novartis and GSK will form a joint venture in consumer healthcare as part of their agreement last month. And that deal is set to elevate the combined group, with $9.50 billion in sales, to the top of the global consumer health ranking, overtaking Johnson & Johnson and Bayer. But Bayer said the Merck deal will put it back on the second rung, with $7.40 billion in combined sales. And J&J's consumer unit has $14.70 billion, but market observers exclude many of its products such as Listerine mouthwash from their analysis of the UGG market. And with Bayer paying 6.5 times 2013 revenue and 21 times earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization, EBITDA, analysts at Deutsche Bank said the price tag may seem eye-watering at first sight. And the deal works both strategically and financially and creates value, albeit to a modest degree, the analyst said, adding it reduces volatility in the Bayer business and provides a predictable cash flow. And Bayer's enlarged consumer care unit will account for about 13% of group sales, up from 10% now. And Bayer's shares closed 0.9% lower at €99.07, while the stock's Europe 600 healthcare index slipped 0.4%. And Reuters first reported last month that Bayer and Reckitt had emerged as frontrunners in the auction, with each initially offering roughly $13.50 billion. And in addition, Bayer agreed to sell to Merck some rights to its Adempas drug against high blood pressure in the lung and other experimental cardiovascular drugs, saying it needed a marketing partner. And as part of that alliance, Merck will pay up to $2.1 billion, including $1.10 billion in milestone payments contingent on development achievements. and Bayer said it plans to finance the acquisition with a bridge loan facility provided by Bank of America Merrill Lynch, BNP Paribas and Mizuho, which will be syndicated to a larger group of banks. And it added no asset sales were needed to preserve its credit rating of A. And additional reporting by Eshadain Bangalore, editing by Srirak Aluvila and Greg Malik.